They say the first $100,000 is the hardest, but nobody tells you it's also the moment your brain fundamentally changes. Once you hit six figures, you don't just have more money. You start seeing the world, risk, and your own future through a completely different lens. Today, we're breaking down the neurological shift that happens at 100K and why your money brain will never be the same again. Somewhere between $85,000 and $100,000, something quiet happens that almost nobody talks about. It's not a lifestyle upgrade. It's not a bigger apartment or a nicer car. It's a shift in how your brain calculates safety. And for a lot of people, that shift doesn't feel like relief. It feels like disappointment. By the end of this video, you'll understand exactly why crossing that number can make you feel less secure, not more, and what to actually do about it. Here's the thing, most people assume financial stress is just a math problem. Earn more, stress less. Simple equation. And if that were true, this channel wouldn't exist, because the data doesn't back it up. Research from the Federal Reserve Survey of Household Economics and Decision-Making has repeatedly found that a large share of Americans, even those earning solid middle-class incomes, say they couldn't cover a sudden $400 expense without borrowing or selling something. Not people earning $30,000. People earning $70,000, $85,000, sometimes more. So right away, we have to throw out the idea that income alone solves the anxiety. It doesn't. It just changes its shape. Now look, I want to be clear about what this video is not. This isn't about getting rich fast. This isn't about picking the right stock or timing the market. This is about something much more useful, which is understanding why your relationship with money keeps shifting even when your paycheck keeps growing, and why the number in your bank account and the number your nervous system believes is safe are almost never the same number. My name is Ely, and I spend way too much time thinking about how people in the U.S. experience money psychologically. If you're someone who earns a normal income, maybe even more than you used to, but still doesn't feel financially secure, hit subscribe and give this video a thumbs up. Because what I'm about to walk you through explains a pattern I see constantly. People who did everything right, who got the raise, who hit the milestone, and who still lie awake doing math at 11 at night. So let's start with the actual math, because the psychology only makes sense once you see the numbers first. Say you go from earning $60,000 to $100,000. On paper, that's a massive jump, a 66% increase. Most people assume that kind of jump should basically erase financial stress. But here's what actually happens in a lot of households. Rent or a mortgage payment scales up because now you can afford a bigger place. A car payment increases because now you can qualify for a nicer loan. Add in higher taxes, maybe a bit more spent on convenience, takeout, subscriptions, a nicer gym, and suddenly a large chunk of that raise has already been absorbed before it ever touches savings. Economists have a name for this. It's called lifestyle creep, and it's not a character flaw. It's closer to a default setting. Your brain sees more income and immediately starts asking, what can I upgrade? Instead of, what can I protect? Here's what most people don't realize. The $100,000 mark isn't just a bigger number. It's a psychological checkpoint. In American culture, six figures has been treated as a symbol of arrival for decades. It shows up in movies, in job postings, in casual conversation as shorthand for made it. So when someone finally crosses that line, there's an expectation baked in, an unspoken belief that stress is supposed to disappear on the other side. And when it doesn't, the letdown isn't just financial. It's identity level. You start asking, if I'm not okay now, what number would actually make me okay? And that question, if you're not careful, doesn't have an answer. It just keeps moving. This is where it gets interesting, because there's real psychology behind why that number keeps moving. It's called the hedonic treadmill, your brain's tendency to adapt quickly to improvements and reset your baseline expectation of normal. A raise feels amazing for about 6 to 8 weeks. Then your brain quietly recalibrates, treats the new income as the floor, not the ceiling, and starts scanning for the next thing to worry about. Combine that with something researchers at the American Psychological Association have documented for years, that money consistently ranks among the top sources of stress for U.S. adults, even among higher earners. And you get a pattern where more income doesn't shut off the alarm system. It just moves the trigger point higher. Now you might be thinking, okay, but surely at some point more money does help. And you're right, It does, up to a point. What changes at $100,000 isn't usually the presence of stress, it's the source of it. Below that threshold, stress tends to be about survival. Can I cover rent? Can I cover groceries? Can I cover an emergency? Above it, stress tends to shift toward comparison and expectation. Am I behind where I should be? Am I saving enough? Are other people my age doing better than me? That second kind of stress is sneakier because it's not tied to an objective number. It's tied to whoever you're comparing yourself to, and on social media, that comparison pool is essentially infinite. If this is starting to feel familiar, that's exactly why I make these videos. Hit subscribe so you don't miss the next one. Let's talk about identity for a second, because this is the part that really explains why the $100,000 mark hits differently than, say, $80,000 or $120,000. Money isn't just math to your brain. It's information about your status, your safety, and your future. When income rises, your brain doesn't just update a spreadsheet, it updates a self-image. And self-image is where things get complicated, because now you're not just managing a budget, you're managing an idea of who you're supposed to be. Someone earning six figures is supposed to have savings, is supposed to not worry about a surprise medical bill, is supposed to feel stable. So when reality doesn't match that script, when a car repair or a dental bill still causes panic, it doesn't just feel like a budgeting hiccup. It feels like personal failure, even though statistically, it's an incredibly common experience. Let's ground this with a real-world example, because abstract psychology only goes so far. Picture someone, call her Maria, who spent years earning $58,000 as a coordinator at a mid-sized company. She budgeted carefully because she had to. Every dollar had a job. Then she gets promoted, salary jumps to $102,000. For the first few months, it feels incredible. She moves into a nicer one-bedroom, upgrades her car lease, starts eating out more because she's earned it. 18 months later, she has almost nothing saved. She's carrying a car payment that eats over 15% of her take-home pay, and she feels more anxious than she did at $58,000 because now there's more to lose, more to maintain, and a lifestyle that quietly requires the income to keep climbing just to stay even. That's not a hypothetical. That's an incredibly common pattern documented across research on income growth and spending behavior in the US, where a significant share of each additional dollar earned tends to get absorbed into higher fixed costs rather than savings. So here's the surprising realization this whole video has been building toward. The first $100,000 doesn't fail people because they're bad with money. It fails people because nobody teaches you that safety is a habit, not a number. Your nervous system doesn't calm down because a bank balance hits a certain digit. It calms down because of consistent, repeated evidence that you're protected, an emergency fund that's actually been tested, a savings rate that holds steady even when income rises, a gap between what you earn and what you spend that doesn't shrink every time you get a raise. Now let's get practical, because insight without action is just entertainment. The first shift is what I'd call raise splitting. When income goes up, whether that's a raise, a bonus, a new job, decide in advance that a fixed percentage, something like 50%, goes straight to savings or debt before your lifestyle even sees it. Not after you've adjusted. Before. This interrupts lifestyle creep at the source instead of trying to fight it after the fact, which almost never works, because by the time you notice the creep, it's already become your baseline. The second shift is redefining what enough means for you specifically, in writing, disconnected from comparison. Not enough compared to my coworker, or enough compared to people online. A specific number, 3 months of expenses, 6 months, whatever fits your actual life, that you can point to and say, this is the line where I officially feel safe. Because if you never define that line, your brain will keep moving it indefinitely, and no income will ever feel like enough. The third shift is tracking your savings rate, not just your income. Your income is impressive on paper, but it's your savings rate, the percentage of what you keep versus what you earn, that actually determines whether you feel secure a year from now. Someone earning $70,000 who consistently saves 20% is often in a stronger psychological position than someone earning $100,000 who saves nothing, because the second person's entire sense of stability is one bad month away from collapsing. And the fourth shift, maybe the most important one, is separating identity from income entirely. You are not your salary. You are not behind because someone your age posted a house purchase online. The number that matters isn't what you earn. It's the gap you protect between what comes in and what goes out, and how consistently you protect it. Here's the calm truth to leave you with. The first $100,000 doesn't fix your relationship with money. It tests it. It reveals whether your habits were ever built on real safety or just on the assumption that a bigger paycheck would eventually solve everything. It won't. Stability was never going to come from a number. It comes from the boring, repeatable stuff, the automatic savings, the honest budget, the refusal to let lifestyle expand just because income did. Cross that threshold with those habits in place, and $100,000 stops being a milestone you were chasing and starts being proof that the system you built actually works. That's the real shift. Not richer, steadier. And steadier is what actually lets you sleep at night.